Muhammad Rasulullah. We say Ashhadu la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. We say this, we bear witness, but are we really bringing that into our lives? This is part of truthfulness. This is part of what we need to do. And if we bring in these characteristics into every part of our lives, then we can be hopeful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call us amongst the Sadiqeen on the Day of Judgment. And sometimes we learn more about something by also learning its opposites. So to learn and understand more about truthfulness, sometimes we have to learn about hypocrisy. Rasulullah told us the characteristics of a munafiq. He says that anyone who has these 4 characteristics in him is a pure munafiq. And anybody who has some of these characteristics has some of the characteristics of nifaq, has some of the characteristics of a hypocrite, until he fixes that from himself. Now what are those characteristics? Number 1, when he is entrusted with something, he betrays that trust. And how many times do we see this? You know, somebody says, hey, can I borrow some money? I'll get you back in 2 weeks. But that 2 weeks never comes. You trusted him with something, and it never comes. Or even in our jobs, we're entrusted to do a job. Our boss or our employer trusts us to do this job. Okay, this is what you're supposed to do. I'm not watching over you, and do it. But a lot of times we're not doing it. We're not doing it properly. So this is breaking a trust. The second thing, when he speaks, he lies. And we see this in a lot of people as well, especially when it comes to things like social media and texting. We're always lying. I'll be there in 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes is an hour. Or I'm doing such and such, or I'm doing such and such, when you're really not doing anything. Because social media has made it so easy to lie. You don't even have to look at a person. You can just post something or text somebody and say whatever you want to say. And some people, it becomes a habitual thing. Even if there's no benefit, they'll start lying. You ask them a question, they'll just start lying, and there's no benefit in anything. And this is a very bad illness to have in the heart, to be a habitual liar. The third thing is when he makes a covenant, when he makes a pact, a treaty, or a promise, or a contract, he proves treacherous. Means he breaks that. He doesn't abide by those terms. And the fourth characteristic of a hypocrite is that when he fights, when he quarrels with somebody, when he has an argument, he behaves in a very evil and insulting manner. He goes to extremes in it. Arguments happen. People disagree on stuff, but it doesn't have to be in such an insulting, in a very, malicious manner. So these are the characteristics of a hypocrite. And we have to look in our own hearts at which of these do we see in ourselves and correct it. And remind ourselves to adhere to truthfulness. And when we do this, this will spread to our families and spread to our children, because they look at us. If we are truthful, they'll be truthful. If we are, doing the wrong things, they'll also do the wrong things. So this is just a reminder for myself and for all of us to adhere to truthfulness and make this one of our characteristics. And make this something that we are known by. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وأستغفر الله وأنا الحمد لله رب العالمين. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. One thing I would like to remind everybody about before we start Salat is that there's a big issue with the plumbing. We need to get this issue resolved. It's been in the masjid for a long time. So the masjid, the administration is working hard to get this plumbing system up. But it's going to cost a lot of money. The estimates we're getting so far around $30,000 to run new lines for the plumbing and change everything. And this is something, because inshallah, the people we see in the masjid now, inshallah, we hope that this will be double and triple in the coming years. This masjid needs to expand. Our children need to come and have this place for the future. So please contribute generously to this. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.